Hi, I'm Vance, and welcome to Repair and Replace. Dishwashers are connected to the hot water supply, but use heating elements to further raise the water temperature. This makes the detergent and the cleaning more effective. If the heating element fails, the dishes might not clean properly and will take longer to dry. As well, a faulty limit switch can also prevent the element from heating. In this episode, first, we'll learn how it all works. Then we'll test and replace the limit switch. Finally, we'll see how to test and replace the heating element. Thank you to Frigidaire for sponsoring this video. Let's begin. Most dishwashers work in the same basic way. It's a tub with a spray arm that showers your dishes with water. There's an element to heat the water, a pump that circulates and sprays it, and another pump that drains it. By combining these simple components in different ways, the machine creates its various wash cycles. Let's take a look at a typical pre-wash, main wash, and rinse cycles. When you start a program, a pre-wash begins. First, the drain pump runs to clear any dirty water from the sump basin. Next, power is sent to the inlet valve, which fills the tub with warm water. This cycle does not use detergent and is usually heated only through the hot water supply. Once it fills, the circulation pump forces the water through the spray arms. The spinning is driven by the water pressure. This washes away any large food particles. Next, the drain pump runs to purge the dirty water. During the wash cycle, the tub fills with water again. For a high temp or heavy wash setting, the heating element will raise the water temperature to improve cleaning performance. Next, the dispenser releases the detergent, which dissolves into the water. The circulation pump runs and sprays the dishes. This will run for up to an hour. Then the drain pump clears the tub. Next is the rinse cycle. The tub will fill and the dishes are sprayed again. Rinsing, and on some models added heat, help remove any remaining residue. Finally, the tub is drained and the dishes dry. If the heating element fails, then there won't be any heat during the high temp, heated wash, or heavy wash cycles. The limit switch, or high limit thermostat, disconnects power to the heating element when the temperature gets too high. If it fails, then it'll prevent the element from working. Using a multimeter, components can be tested for continuity. A successful continuity test proves that electricity can pass through the circuit. Without continuity, the component will not work and will need to be replaced. To begin, you might need a screwdriver or nut driver, pliers, and a multimeter. You might also need channel lock pliers, an adjustable wrench, and a socket set. Keep in mind, there is some variation between models, and not all dishwashers will have the same parts. You can enter your model number on the Reliable Parts website to see a parts breakdown. This can be helpful to show you which parts are in your dishwasher and where they are located. First, shut off the breaker to disconnect the power. In some cases, you can unplug the dishwasher. Now shut off the water supply valve. This should be located under the sink. It's also a good idea to wear cut-resistant gloves, as there can be some sharp edges. To access the components, you'll have to remove the dishwasher from the cabinet. These steps may vary depending on your model. Loosen the clamp to remove the drain hose from the sink. If there's a spring clamp, then you'll need to use pliers. Now feed the hose through the cabinet. Unscrew and remove the lower access panel. Next, unscrew the water supply line from the inlet valve. In some models, the valve is located in the back and is only accessible once you remove the dishwasher. Unscrew the cover to the junction box. Next, remove the wire nuts. Now unscrew and remove the ground wire. Unscrew the strain relief. Now remove the wires. Open the dishwasher door and remove the mounting bracket screws. You might need to adjust the leveling legs to lower the dishwasher. Now carefully slide the dishwasher out. To avoid scratching the floor, you can put a flat piece of cardboard or a drop cloth under the legs. Now tilt the dishwasher onto its back. If your model has a bottom pan, then you'll have to remove it. Remove any mounting screws. Now release any mounting tabs. Next, lift off the bottom pan. If needed, disconnect any wires. The thermostat can be tested in place while it's still mounted. First, disconnect the wires. Set your multimeter to the resistance setting. Touch each probe to each terminal. There should be a resistance reading between 0 and 1 ohm. If there is no continuity, an infinite reading, or a resistance in the millions of ohms, then the thermostat has failed and will need to be replaced. Disconnect any remaining wires. Now remove any mounting screws. In some models, it will be held in by a small clip. Now remove the thermostat. Align the new thermostat into the housing. Now tighten the mounting screws. Finally, reconnect the wires. In all models, you can test the element from the bottom. First, disconnect the wires. Set your multimeter to the resistance setting. Touch each probe to each terminal. There should be a resistance reading of 10 to 30 ohms. If there is no continuity, an infinite reading, or a resistance in the millions of ohms, then the element has failed and should be replaced. Additionally, you can test to see if the element has shorted to ground. Test between one of the terminals and any shiny metal of the dishwasher frame. If there's continuity or a reading greater than 0 ohms, then the element has shorted to ground and should be replaced. First, disconnect the wires. Now, remove the mounting nuts. To access the heating element, you'll have to remove the lower spray arm. This is usually held on by a small tab. In other models, you'll have to rotate to a specific position before lifting up. Now, remove the element. Align the new heating element into the mount. Next, tighten the mounting nuts. Now reconnect the wires. Finally, align the spray arm and snap it into place. In some models, the heating element is integrated into the circulation pump. In this case, you'll have to install a new pump. Disconnect any remaining wires. Now remove the mounting screws. In some models, you'll need to remove a mounting plate or a retaining clip. In other cases, you might need to release a hose clamp. Now remove the pump. Align the pump into the mount. If there was a hose clamp, then secure it into place. If needed, align the retaining clip. Now, tighten the mounting screws. Next, reconnect the wires. In some models, the element sits in the sump basin and will heat the water as it circulates. Remove the wires. Next, use a socket wrench to remove the nut. In some models, you can remove the element from here. In other models, you'll have to remove it from inside the dishwasher. First, remove the lower rack. Now, remove the spray arm. Use a flat blade screwdriver to release the tabs and simply lift it off. In other models, you might have to unscrew the assembly. If needed, remove the mounting stem. This might be held in by screws or might just take a quarter turn to unlock. Some models have a glass filter which you can remove. Other models have a filter ring which might be held in by screws. If there's an impeller, then use a flat blade screwdriver to stabilize it while you unscrew it. Now remove the impeller. In this model, the food chopper is underneath a plastic assembly with a mesh screen. Remove the old element. Align the new heating element into the mount. Now replace the mounting plate. Next, tighten the mounting nuts. And now reconnect the wires. Replace the chopper filter screen. Align the impeller onto the mount. Now tighten the mounting screw. Take the filter ring and align it onto the mount. If necessary, replace the screws. Some filter rings will just slide into place. Now, replace the glass filter. If needed, replace the mounting stem. Align the spray arm onto the mount and snap it into place. In other models, you'll have to tighten the mounting screws. Align the bottom pan into the mount. Press in to lock the mounting tabs. Now tighten the mounting screws. First, feed the drain hose into the sink cabinet. Gently slide the dishwasher into place. If necessary, adjust the leveling legs. tighten the screws to secure the dishwasher to the countertop. Now connect the drain hose and tighten the clamp. Make sure that the drain hose has an elevated loop above the connection. This will prevent water from flowing back into the dishwasher. Feed the wires into the junction box and tighten the strain relief. Now connect the ground wire. Next, tighten the wire nuts to secure the wires. Now replace the junction box cover. Attach the water supply line to the inlet valve and tighten it into place. Finally, replace the lower access panel. Turn on the water supply. Next, reconnect the power. Now it's best to test the dishwasher to see if it's working properly. You can start a cycle even without any dishes or detergent. If this works, then cancel the cycle and run a full load of dishes. If you found this episode helpful, then subscribe to our channel. And when you need a replacement part, you can get it online or in one of our reliable parts locations. Thanks for watching.